What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the Casas fam. I know it's been so long since I last updated you guys on my channel. I think the last video that I uploaded was like about 5 months ago, and a lot has changed, let me tell you. Good things and bad things. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about my weight loss journey. So this is my halfway video. I am doing this video as my halfway mark. My goal is to lose 60 pounds. I am about 3 pounds from being 30 pounds down. So I'm so excited that, I made it to my halfway mark. I'm trying to do like the other 30 sometime before the end of this year for sure. I'm like 2 pounds away from 30 to 39. I'm 3 pounds from 30, so I'm just gonna say 30 pounds because it just makes me feel better. But so I wrote everything down, you guys. I have written down, I have made a plan. Everything that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is going to be in sections. So thank you guys who participated in my little questionnaire survey on Instagram and asked me questions. That way I exactly know kind of what you guys want to know about my weight loss journey. So here I am doing this video. So I wrote down everything that I could think of that's going to make it easier. I'm going to do sections and sections and sections of things because all of this is going to be a lot of information to intake. All right, guys, so first thing is first, I just want to do a really quick disclaimer before I start this video. I don't want anybody to come to me bashing me, telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, because all of this that I'm going to tell you guys is what has worked for me. And obviously I'm doing something right because I have already shed almost 30 pounds. I wanted to let you guys know that what works for me personally might not work for you. So these things that I'm going to tell you, it's 4 steps that I did that worked for me. So like I said, if this doesn't work for you, do not get discouraged. There's other things that you can do, but I just don't want you to be like, well, it didn't work for me and it worked for her, because everybody's body count, everybody's body mass, everybody's body is different. Everybody's way of doing things might not fit everybody's needs. So just wanted to make that clear before I started this video. Also, I am not a fitness instructor. I am not a health provider. I am none of those things. So please do not come at me and tell me that I'm doing something wrong. So I want to give you guys a little backstory of kind of where I have came to be to where I was at. So first thing is first, I stopped doing YouTube. I started doing YouTube. I started filming videos because it's something that I really liked. It's a hobby that I liked, and I'm pretty thankful for the few handful of subscribers that I do have. So when I started doing this video thing, I have always been conscious about my weight. I have always knew that I have been on the plus size chart. I've never been a thin person that I've fit in a size 0, because that's just not me personally. I don't think I will ever get to be that skinny, and not even because I wouldn't want to. So I've always been on the plus side person. I've always had hips, I've always had a butt, I've always had thighs, I've always had the whole shebang. And of course, after I had my kids, my hips just widen a little bit more, and that tends to happen because your hips open when you're gonna push and all of that stuff. So my hips just have always been widened, and I got my mom's side of the family's body, and I'm not complaining because my mom gave me a good figure in all the right places. So I always knew that I had a good body, but I knew that it could be better if I took better care of it. So the heaviest that I have weighed myself has been 220 pounds. And the last video that I recorded here on my channel was me weighing 220 pounds, and I can totally see it. And after that video, I don't know, like it really brought my self-esteem down, and I just didn't want to do any more YouTube videos. I hate the way I looked. My pictures, I used to hate the way I used to come out in pictures, and I just stopped doing it. And it's so bad that my weight took so much control, it took so much control out of my body to be like, okay, well, I don't even want to come out in pictures with my kids because I don't like the way I look. And that's not right, because pictures are something that you're gonna cherish forever. And in one of my videos that I did make a long time ago, like the reason why I started YouTube was because I wanted to create memories, and it's the reason why I am filming is because I want to be able to see my kids grow on my channel and see me grow as a person, and my husband and everybody that's in my videos. I want to have that memory. So for me to say like, well, I just don't want to film anymore because of my weight was really something that was really mind fucking my mind, no lie. It started May 26th of 2020 after my daughter's birthday. I decided to go on a walk / run with my kids and my dogs. So I took the kids and my dogs to go running or walking, and on the way there the kids got tired, so I had asked my husband to come pick them up, and I took the dogs back to the house, and my husband was following me. So you know, he had told me I had to go to my hair appointment at a certain time, and it was like maybe like a 12-minute difference. Like it was like maybe I had like 12 minutes or less than 12 minutes in between to get to the house so he could leave for his hair appointment. So so that was already my challenge. I was like, okay, I'm gonna run from here to the house and I have to make it before a certain time. So that is the day that I was like, you know what, this is the day that I'm gonna change my life. So from that time to that time I ran, and my husband was able to leave at the perfect time, and that's when I proved to myself that I could do it. So me doing that, even my husband was like, damn, like I didn't think you could make it, as effed up as it sounds. He was like, I didn't think you know, like you were gonna do it, but I did it. And yeah, so that was the day that I decided to, you know, put my foot down. So now that I've told you when I started was May 26th, I did a whole month of working out, eating good, and just, you know, being healthy, and I was feeling good about myself. And then June 29th came around, and I went to go run with my mom and my kids. We were gonna take them to the park, and I took my brother's dog, and on my way to the damn park I seriously stepped on one of the bolitas, like the balls that the las palmas sueltan, like the palm trees, they drop these little balls. I don't even know what the hell they're called, but they drop these little balls, and I literally slid on that. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a story about my weight loss journey a couple of days ago. I posted a picture of my knee. I ended up spraining my ankle like really bad. So my right knee just got scraped really bad, and I just couldn't, like I was bleeding. It was so traumatizing for kids at the park, because literally from where I was at to get to the park, it was still a good amount. So I was limping, I was bleeding. Like the kids wanted to go to the park, so I just didn't want to go back to the house, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna suck it up. And you know, at the park I was cleaning myself with un calcetín that I had on my shoes, and just, it was really traumatizing. Like, I'm sorry for all those kids. But then that happened, and I messed up my ankle and my knee, and I couldn't do anything, any exercises or anything for a whole month. Even to this day, like if I wake up in the morning y mi pie está frío, like my foot is, you know, it's you know, I haven't done anything all night, I'll wake up with like limping a little bit because it still hurts. And the doctor told me it was going to take a long time for it to fully recover, and sure enough, I'm still here, you know, with my leg, my messed up leg. So it took a month off, and I really got sad because I was starting this journey, and then that happened, and it's like, damn, like here I am trying to be this healthy person, and then this happens, and it's like, for what? Like, it was just not good. But I used to be an extra large in shirts. I am now a medium. And in pants, I used to be a 16, 18. I am now a size 14. I'm gonna move on to some of the questions that people asked me on Instagram. And one of the questions was, what motivated you / what was your biggest motivation? What motivated me to start losing weight was my before pictures. You know that I was at a certain weight at one point in my life, and the way I was before really motivated me to start this journey. So just looking at pictures that I was before is what really made me be like, okay, you know what, I could do this. Another question was, what was your biggest motivation? I don't know if it's like the same question, or like what is my biggest motivation now that I'm doing it. But if it is that question, is seeing the scale drop. Seeing the scale drop rapidly is what motivates me now to keep going, because God knows that if I was stuck at a certain weight, which it happens, you could be stuck at a certain weight for a very long time, and it's happened to me. I get really like frustrated, and I'm just like, damn it, like, can it go down? So seeing it go down every single day or every other day is really what keeps me going to this day. So now I'm gonna talk about the 4 things that I do that has helped me lose 30 pounds. So the first thing that I do is I drink a lot of water. I have always drank a gallon of water, or at least a gallon every single day. Water is not an issue for me. I can consume it without any problems. It's not a big deal. A lot of people do struggle with drinking water, and I'm going to tell you guys tips that can help you potentially drink more water. The second thing that I do is I work out 30 to 40 minutes 5 times a week. I mean, I know that sometimes you don't have the time to do it, but I personally like to work out at night because it's the best time that fits me. 30 to 40 minutes, no more than that. I don't stress about it. So now the third thing that I am telling you guys is literally what I feel like has been a game changer into my weight loss is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, short for IF or IF, is something that I started doing, and I feel like it has been a game changer into the health fitness game. If you guys have like any complications, low blood pressure, any of that stuff, please talk to your doctor before you even start this, because I don't think it can be safe for you because you're going so many hours without eating. If you are pregnant or if you're breastfeeding, I also don't recommend it because your body is already burning calories as you're breastfeeding, and you need all the nutrients you can as possibly to get if you are pregnant or if you're breastfeeding. So if you don't have any of these things that I mentioned above, then go ahead and try doing it. And the fourth thing that I do is a 1200 calorie daily intake. So I eat 1200 calories every single day. Sometimes I'll go a little bit over, sometimes I'll go a little bit under. It just depends, but I mainly stay in the 1200 category. Those are the 4 things that I do that has helped me tremendously lose 30 pounds in 3 months, because literally I started May 26th. We are now in September, but so May, June, July, August, September, but I literally took a month off because I couldn't do anything. So 3 months I've lost 30 pounds, and it's something that has worked because I see it in the scale. So now I'm going to go through each one of these that I've named. So all the 4 ones that I've named, I'm gonna go through each one individually and do categories individually so you guys can kind of capture everything more easily instead of me just throwing everything out there. So the first one is staying hydrated. So drinking a lot of water is really important. If you didn't know, 60% of your body is water. So you need to have enough water so your body can function properly and just be healthy in general. So I know that a lot of people have a really hard time drinking water itself. That I have found that helps me is buying this gallon. This is from Amazon. It's roughly about 20 bucks. I just washed it, so it's wet. But just buying this motivates me because it has quotes and times, and you don't have to refill it. So if you're like working and stuff and have like, you can't be going back and forth to refilling your water bottle, what I do is I lo lleno halfway en la noche. I fill it up halfway at night with water, and then I put it in the freezer, and in the morning I'll take it out and fill up the rest of it, and that will be cold throughout the day, especially right now that it's been hot in California. Well, not right now. Right now there's a lot of fire, so it's really bad outside. So that's what I do. It does come with the straw. I really recommend the ones that come with the straw, because then you're like this, and just I feel like it's just easier to have a straw with these. Also, if you don't want to use that, and if you're home and you just don't want to use that, I suggest you getting like a cup that's fancy or whatever. I have this Starbucks cup that has Mickey Mouse in it, and aquí cabe una botella de agua. So one of these fits in here without the ice. So one of these fits in here, so I'll just put it in here and then I'll sip on this. That way I'm more encouraged, like, okay, I need to finish it so I can refill it or whatever So that's like another way of drinking water. Or you can add lemon to your water as well. That's another good way if you don't like the way that water tastes plain. Or what you can do is drink 7.5 of these water bottles. 16.9 fluid ounces equals to 129 ounces. You can also just drink 7.5, 7 1/4, because se llena como like this much. So half is like this, so like almost half of those a day, and that equals to 1 gallon. The second thing that I do for my 4 steps that I do is I stay active. So I do about 30 to 40 minutes 5 times a week, and I try to do like Monday through Friday, stay active, and then on the weekend I'll just kind of like have those days for like myself. And I think I had a question asking me what workouts I have. Yeah, okay, so workouts. So the workouts that I do is I go on YouTube and I follow Pop Sugar Fitness. Pop Sugar Fitness, they are seriously like the best instructors to work out. Like, you seriously won't be disappointed. The people that I recommend to watch is Eliza, Nicole, and Rainier. Those 3 are the best instructors to work out with. There is a video that Eliza does that is a patty cake that I do, and that thing makes you sweat. Like, there's no, like, she's really good too. Also, before, like a couple weeks ago, I used to go walking a lot in the mornings. I would wake up at 6 in the morning, grab my dog, take her with me, go walking for about 3.5 to 4 miles every other day. I would go like twice a week, 3 times a week. But this last time I went was it drew the line. I have been verbally harassed so many times that it is so annoying. And it sucks because it's your own fucking people that do it. All these freaking gardeners, these Mexican gardeners that you're out there doing your own thing, you te chulean, and it's so annoying. Like, people, I'm just trying to go walk and run, and people are over here trying to fucking talk to me. Like, I just felt really uncomfortable, especially because these are older Hispanic people, and it's like, ugh, me da asco, like, thinking about it. Like, you know, people just don't do it. Just mind your own business, let people be. And my husband, he always tells me, like, I don't even know why you go walking and stuff, like, and he tells me, like, I'm gonna buy you an elliptical, and he's like, I'm gonna buy you a treadmill. And it's like, no, I don't like treadmills. I don't like running, especially I don't like running in place. Like, that is my worst. Like, I hate running. Like, I hate it. That's my worst thing, is running. Some people told me to wear earphones and just ignore it, but I don't like to wear earphones when I am running, especially in public. You just don't know anything. I always like to be aware of my surroundings and what is around my surroundings. You just never know with people's intentions nowadays. I just like to be aware of my surroundings. I used to be in a criminal justice academy back in 2013 when I got my associate's degree, and there's 2 things that I learned from that academy, was to always be aware of your surroundings, and 2, integrity. So always do the right thing when no one's watching. Now let's move on to the third one. So the third one is what is a life changer for health fitness. It is intermittent fasting. The terminology definition is an umbrella term for various meal timing schedules that cycles between voluntary fasting and non-fasting over a given period. So in other words, intermittent fasting is basically a time frame when you can and you cannot eat. I didn't know anything about this, so please do your research about this on your own. I'm just going to give you a brief explanation of what it is. And I had no idea what the heck this was. My mother-in-law is actually the one that told me about it. And when she told me, I was like, damn, that's a lot of hours without eating, So, for example, the most common intermittent fasting that people do is 16-8. So you go 16 hours without eating, and then you get 8 hours, an 8-hour window where you could eat. If this is your first time hearing about this and you want to start doing this, I suggest you start off slow. So by that, there's different time frames that you can do. Like, you can do 12 hours, 12 hours. So 12 and 12. You can go 12 hours with eating, 12 hours without eating. You can do 14-10, 14 hours not eating, 10 hours eating. And then the most common is 16-8. 16 hours not eating, 8 hours eating. So that is the most popular one that people do, is 16-8. The one that I do is 18-6. So for example, I stop eating at 5:30 p.m. Sometimes I'll do like 4:30 or 4 o'clock. And then so if I do 5:30, I won't eat until the next morning, until 11:30, which is not bad at all, because at first you're like, damn, like that's a lot of hours that you're like not eating. But if you think about it, it's better to do a fasting if it works, if you can, because I know there's a lot of people that work at night, because I know a lot of people, it might not work their time periods for them like it works for a lot of us. So at night is when you get most of your hours into the fasting. So for example, I stopped at 5:30 and then I go to sleep. I go to sleep actually pretty damn late, so I'm not even gonna say I use that time to go to sleep, because I go to sleep like around 12, 11:30, 12, 1 sometimes in the morning. And then I won't wake up until like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and then you already have accomplished a lot of percentage of your fasting time that you have to get over with that day. So that's why I like to do 18:6. Thursday, so today's Saturday. On Thursday, I like, without even wanting to or without even needing to, I wasn't hungry, so I did like 20 hours of fasting without even, that was the longest fasting I have ever done. We say, you know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, which is not true. You know, it's just, you know, if you skip breakfast, it's fine. Like the more, and also the more that you sleep, the more calories you burn. So try to get a good enough sleep, even though that's kind of hard, especially with kids. Try to just sleep as much as you can. Okay, so then also intermittent fasting is really important. I'm going to tell you guys the app that I use. The app that I use to track my fasting is called Zero Calorie. It's like something red. And basically you put the time that you start fasting, and it'll tell you the percentage of where you're at, how many you have left. And I like it to track the amount of hours I am fasting. Also, for example, if you have been doing a certain amount of time of fasting, of intermittent fasting, it's always good to trick your body once in a while and change it up on it. You don't want to get your body used to it, because after it gets used to it, what happens? It stops working. So it's really important to trick your body one day and you wake up and you're like, I'm only going to do 12 hours today. And my body's going to be like, what the hell? Like, you're used to doing 16 hours. So that way your body doesn't get used to just one rhythm, and you know, when you do shock it, it reacts to it, and it's like, okay, well, now I gotta burn more or I gotta burn less and stuff like that. You just want to be really mindful about. So then the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the fourth step is my diet. So this is another question that I got, was my diet. So I consume a 1200 calorie diet a day. So I stopped. So my 11:30 window closes at 11:30 when I'm fasting. So at 11:30 I make myself a smoothie. That's another question, was what I eat in a day. So that's something that I'm gonna film in another video of what I eat. Exactly, I eat, because it is hard, especially being Hispanic, because you know we like to eat Mexican food, and yeah, you can't really measure that. So anyways, I do a 1200 calorie intake a day. So what that means is that in the morning, I'll go ahead and make myself a smoothie. 100 grams of pineapple, 100 grams of strawberry, and 100 grams of mango. And then I believe it's 42 grams of spinach, and kale, I'll just take a whole bunch because kale doesn't really have any calories. So I have a scale. So all of that equals to about less than 200 calories that I'm gonna break my fast with, is with a green smoothie. And I usually fill up a cup like this, and I'll drink it like through the morning. I'll do a piece of toast. I'll do a sourdough toast with whipped cream on top, 1 tablespoon of whipped cream. And after a smoothie, I'll go ahead and Ned wanted to join. Okay, so after a smoothie, I'll go ahead and make myself like some fruit and just everything that is based on a 1200 calorie. For lunch, I'll have like a tortilla, like a quesadilla, like a chicken quesadilla. I'll have a chicken quesadilla, and then for dinner I'll have more fruit or just things like that. Also, I did want to explain to you guys that I am not on a strict diet. If I was on a strict diet like keto, for example, I think I would have been like at least 40 pounds down. But I can't do that to myself. Like, so keto is just something that was not in my picture. I was not gonna do it. I told myself I wasn't gonna do it. I like to live my life a little bit, and I feel like when you're on keto, you're really restricted to eat things that you would want to normally. So just a 1200 calorie diet is what works for me. Like I said in the beginning of this video, what works for me may not work for you. So maybe 1200 calories is too much. Maybe you're gonna have to do 1000 calories. Maybe it's too little and you have to do 1500 calories. So it just depends on your body, but don't go anywhere below 1000 calories. After you do, if you go anywhere below 1000 calories, your body starts to store fat instead of burning it. So don't do anything that's under 1000 calories. So 1200 is what I do. I have taken so many breaks, I don't even know where I left off. I think I was talking about keto. So obviously you're supposed to have like control about what you eat and stuff, but it's okay to eat a chocolate. Like, don't be scared to not eat it because it's gonna mess up, because it's still falling under the 1200 calorie. Like, for example, someone asked on the page the other day if you're able to eat 1200 calories worth of chocolate, and the answer is yes, you could, because it's still under the 1200 calorie. However, it's not recommended because chocolate is not fulfilling. So after you eat it, after you eat that, an hour later, you're gonna be really hungry and you're not gonna be able to eat because you wasted all of your calories. So for example, I'll eat 300 calories in the morning, I'll eat 600 calories in the evening, and then I'll save my calories to eat like an ice cream bar. And the ones that I like to eat are from Costco or Sam's Club. They'll sell like the fudge bar paletas, which I don't even know what the hell they're called, but if I find the name of them, I'll put them somewhere right here, of the ice cream that I like to eat. And that fills my craving for something sweet, and it's only 90 to 100 calories per ice cream bar. I think that is it with the steps that I was supposed to tell you guys that I did. Working out, drinking water, intermittent fasting, and a 1200 calorie. Those are the 4 things that I have done that made me lose 30 pounds. Now I'm going to answer the rest of the questions that I didn't answer. I answered the ones that fell under the category about when I was answering them, like the workout one and the food one. So someone asked me the food you eat in a day. I definitely need more ideas. I am going to do a separate video about that, of what I eat in a day. I know it is really hard to eat, because it is really hard. It really is hard. I can't. And also, you guys, keep in mind, I am really picky at eating. I don't like salads. I'm not a big fan of salads. And broccoli just does not sit well with my stomach. Like, it makes me super gassy. It makes me have bubble guts. It's just not a good combination. I love broccoli. Don't get me wrong. I love eating broccoli, but I know that when I eat it, it's gonna be bad. So that's why I kind of try to avoid to eat broccoli. But anything with food, I'm gonna do a separate video on what I eat. So I hope you guys stay patient on that one. Okay, so diet plan as well. It's kind of what I explained to you with the smoothie and then the quesadilla. I have another question. I have 2 more questions asking what was the hardest part. So the hardest part was honestly starting this journey. I don't know when I'm going to stop. I don't think I will ever stop what I am doing, because this has became to what I thought was a diet is now a lifestyle, and you change the way that you think of food and, you know, the way that you eat things, because you're like, damn, my body doesn't really need to be eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My body just needs to eat this much. And we have made it normal for us to think breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it's not. Just sit here and imagine how fit people would be if restaurants served you the correct amount of portion size that you're supposed to eat. Like, you go to the Chinese food, you're gonna get a fucking platote full of food that they're gonna serve you. All of that you don't need to eat. You don't have to eat it. But that's just what, you know, we have grew up to think it's okay to do. And it's like when we go to Costco, you know, and sometimes I'll buy the ice cream. They serve you a big ass thing of ice cream, and in your head you're like, I have to finish it, but you really don't have to. Like, they could have served you half of it, but because all of this, all like the food chain and everything is honestly nothing but money, and it's up to us to be like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to start eating better. I'm gonna not eat here because it's not healthy for me. honestly, you guys, you have to take care of yourself. It's something that we owe it to our bodies. Our bodies does a lot for us. Our feet does a lot for us, and we have to owe it to them to give back to our bodies and become healthier, so that way when we become older, we're not struggling like with our own weight and stuff like that. So the hardest part, so to answer that question, you guys, the hardest part about doing this journey is starting it. Sitting down and looking at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, today's the day that you're gonna change. And on May 26th, I did that. I told myself, you know what, today is a day that I am going to start this fitness journey. Y a ver hasta donde aguanto, because I didn't never ever think I would ever be in the wonderland. I am currently 193 pounds, okay? I have lost a pound since I uploaded my story on my Instagram. So I am 193 pounds. I am 3 pounds away from being 190 pounds, which is something that I never saw myself accomplishing ever. So yeah, the hardest part was starting. And did you ever feel like giving up? Was there anything that made you feel like giving up? So during this whole process, nothing has made me want to give up, because it's not hard. It's just getting used to the way that you're gonna start eating. So no, I did not feel like giving up. When I do work out though, that's a whole different story. When I go running and stuff, I do feel like giving up, because I am not a runner. Like I've told you guys, I don't run. I don't like running, but I do like to stay in shape. So running is something that does stop me from like keep going, because I'm like dying, and I'm like, because when I run in sections. So I'll do 3 minutes I run, 1 minute I walk, 3 minutes I run, 1 minute I walk. And sometimes I do feel like giving up and not running anymore. So as this whole diet, no, itself, I don't feel like giving up. When I am working out, yes, absolutely. And then someone said, yes, how much to train me? Girl, that is all the questions that I have for you guys for this video. I hope this video is somewhat informative to you guys, and I hope that seeing me and my journey helps you guys. You know, if you're thinking about starting it, if you're thinking about, you know, starting something new for yourself, I hope that this video inspires you, especially for people that know me personally on a personal level. I really do hope that you guys do start, you know, your journey, and you do it for yourself and your kids and your loved ones. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it for yourself and the people that are important to you. And to conclude this video, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, you guys, I'll see you guys in my next video.
Cansada la vida, porque sin ti no va nada bien, echando sal a la herida, el limón